Hey, good morning, everybody. Pastor Zach here for our weekly discussion. As always, an opportunity for you to share some questions, thoughts, concerns, to have some time with me this morning. So if there's anything that you want to share, any questions that you have for me, any comments, I invite you to pop them in the chat. If there's something that you think about, if you watch this later, you can always leave a message, or if you want to message me directly, because you don't want that public, please feel free to do that. And as always, it's an opportunity for you to have an opportunity to connect with me and to share and for us to build community. I was trying to think about what we may talk about if nothing popped up. And my brain is sort of in about 25 different ways because, there's a lot going on. A lot with the church, a lot of good stuff, a lot of activities going on. We are still in the midst of looking for a director for our after school program and for our faith formation, our children and family ministries, which we're really excited about. And we're just so thankful for all of our volunteers who take part in that. Along with it being Lent and this season of seeking to be present, to spend more time with God. I really think it's interesting that there are some groups out there, and I'd be curious to see what the response is. I know there's a site called Hallow, Hallow, and I know on Facebook and on Instagram, Morning Joy, that they are using that as an opportunity to encourage people to pray. And so they take time throughout the day on Instagram and Facebook and just pray. So I don't know if it's scheduled prayer, but I was thinking about this and I was actually struck, and I found a different website, but I'd be curious to hear your thoughts on what holds you back from reading the Bible. Is it unsure where to start? Is it, you don't know what you want to learn? Is it you just don't feel like you have time? Is it, that it just seems so overwhelming? So if you're willing to share, I invite you to share in the comments or, message me directly. But what is something that holds you back? I've heard that people, there's been a shift that it's not always about being able to read or wanting to read, but it's having the time. And so there's this big shift to audiobooks. Joy says life in general has its way of pushing us back from reading the Bible. And it does. We get busy and, we get overwhelmed. And so if we don't intentionally take that time, and then we go, well, but when is there time? And, I need to do these 16 other things, and it doesn't, that just seems to get missed. But what if there was a different way? What if there was, what then, I guess, might be helpful? As a family, as individuals, what would it be? And I think the church in general, needs to consider some of these questions. For centuries, Sunday morning has been dedicated to faith. And over the past 30 years, that has changed. I remember, and this is going back a long time for some, that when I was growing up, most places weren't open on Sundays till noon. Sunday morning was still church and family time. So you didn't have all of that stuff to pull you. Sports didn't practice, didn't have games, didn't have tournaments on Sunday morning or on Sundays. And so, as the world has changed, we, the church, need to find different avenues, I think, to connect with people. We need to meet them where they are rather than expecting them to come to us. Because very rarely, if at all, to my recollection, did Jesus ever wait for someone to come to him. People did come to him, but it was often he was out in the midst of people. You know, the woman who was bleeding came to the crowd. The Roman centurion father, I think, came when Jesus was with people. Even the friends of the paralytic that, ripped open the roof to bring the person down to Jesus. Jesus was still surrounded by people. Jesus was there in the midst. And I think it should challenge us to recognize that we believe in a God whose Son came down, who went to people, who went out to the world, who didn't wait for the world to come to him. And I think that's something that can help us reframe what is going on in the world and what our position should be in it. But I think it also reminds us that having the ability or taking the time to pray, to get into the Bible, to read about it while we read it, to learn about it, to ask questions, that deepens our faith. And now in this season of Lent, which started last Wednesday and goes all the way up to Easter, we have an opportunity to ask some questions, to take some time to share together what it means to live faithfully, what it means to dive more deeply into God's Word, to be challenged by it, to learn from it, and to hopefully grow, because that's how we grow. So that is my invitation. That is my challenge. That is my question for you this week. What does that look like? What is holding you back? What would be helpful for you? Is there something that we as the church can do to support you in that, to invite you into that? And to offer support and encouragement, prayer time, community, as we grow and move forward. With all of that in mind, I want to invite you to a couple of things. The first one is tomorrow night, Wednesday, the 21st. Yep. Here on site at AELC. Now, this will not be online. So if you are interested, I invite you to join us. But it will not be live streamed. It will not be recorded. It is for on-site only, and all are welcome to join in. We're going to have our soup and bread meal. So we're inviting anyone to that to share in community. Simple soup and bread meal. Excuse me. And then we will have a short worship and discussion. Our discussion focus for this Lenten season is key chain leadership. It's how we lead, and it's how we share that leadership responsibility with others, especially with our youth and our young people, and how do we encourage them in that way. So that's going to be the focus of that as we go through those weekly discussions. We still have some space if you are interested in making soup, if you want to make soup, or if you want to make or buy bread and bring it along. Please let me know so I can make sure it is up on our list so that we have coverage for it. The other is worship on Sunday. Now that is on site and online at 8:30 and 10:30. We always encourage people to connect and to share in those times together with us. so that we can care and uplift and learn and grow together. So I invite you to all of those. And as always, if this has impacted you, if this has challenged you, I invite you to share it. I encourage you to ask questions, to share your comments, and to challenge yourself this Lenten season to move forward faithfully and to find new ways forward. All right, I'm here to support you. Anything I can do to help, reach out. We'll talk to you soon. Take care, everybody. God bless. Have a great week.